Greenwashing: How Companies Abuse the Green Movement for Money by Christina O'Brien, Business Law 2150, Appalachian State University. All businesses use some form of marketing to build customer relationships and in return receive value from customers. Advertising is the portion of the marketing plan that is viewed by mass media, from television commercials to advertisements in newspapers. Advertising has a major impact on the economy because it influences the way we think and the goods and services we purchase. Since advertising plays such a major role in our lives, it should be regulated so consumers are not misled by false or deceptive claims. In this presentation, I will discuss environmental marketing guidelines, specific cases where false advertising was an issue, and the consequences for false advertising under the law. Currently, there are marketing guidelines set forth by federal agencies. However, companies stretch these regulations by using vague terms such as friendlier, going green, think different, and love the earth. But what do those words really mean? Deceptive advertising is relevant and something we should all pay attention to. Some companies are being held liable for their actions through lawsuits, such as the recent case against Whole Foods Market. Mary and Grace Garrison filed a class action lawsuit against the company on the grounds of false labeling. Whole Foods claimed some of their products to be all natural, when they contain the chemical compound sodium acid phosphate. Trader Joe's experienced a similar lawsuit which cost the company $3.4 million and a great deal of bad PR. Marketers should be held accountable for deceptive green advertising, and that is exactly what Ayanna Hill thought when she filed a lawsuit against Fiji Water Company for claiming to be carbon negative. Fiji created the idea that their company is carbon negative under claims such as, "We are reducing CO2 emissions across our product's entire life cycle by 25% over the next 3 years." In other words, the company is counting future initiatives in their current carbon calculation. This is misleading because Fiji uses more resources and transportation than other bottling companies because of their location. Marketers can deceive consumers on numerous things. With the amount of environmentally conscious consumers increasing, corporations have begun to position all their products to fit this mindset, which is why I chose to focus my research on the idea of greenwashing. Similar to the Fiji carbon negative case, greenwashing happens when deceptive or false claims are made by marketers in relation to green products. These ads are great examples. Both ads make you think the product is green by the color choices, designs, and wording. For example, the Fanta ad emphasizes the word green. But to the product, green is only a part of the flavor. The second ad claims to be natural and biodegradable. But it is a Clorox ad. How natural can it be? We must be smart consumers and ask questions about each ad presented to us. There are a multitude of claims that can make the consumer think a product is beneficial to the environment. Such claims include general benefits, degradable, recyclable, renewable energy, source reduction, etc. The Federal Trade Commission set forth a guide regulating each claim to reduce deceptive marketing, called Guide for the Use of Environmental Marketing Claims. Its general principles include qualifications and disclosure, distinction between benefits of product package and service, overstatement of environmental attribute, and comparative claims. To file a lawsuit against a company, the plaintiff must prove the claim to be deceptive. The defending company should have evidence such as research and scientific tests to back up their claim. The main focus of this guide is to be explicit with all information by using substantiation when making claims. The Federal Trade Commission says, research suggests that reasonable consumers may interpret renewable material claims differently than marketers intend. Unless marketers have substantiation for all their express and reasonably implied claims, they should clearly and prominently qualify their renewable materials claims. A general benefit claim such as eco-friendly would be deceptive. Instead, the marketer should explain what it means in regard to the product, such as eco-friendly, made with 30% renewable materials. Some people are using the Federal Trade Commission regulations to take companies to court. According to the Office of Attorney General for the state of California, the General filed a lawsuit in 2011 against plastic water bottle companies, which made false and misleading claims by marketing plastic water bottles as 100% biodegradable and recyclable. The court made them remove biodegradable claims and labels, stop making the product non-recyclable, send out a notice revoking their claims, as well as pay high penalties. The state later made the word biodegradable illegal on plastic food and beverage container labeling. Joel J. Davis's Ethical and Environmental Marketing article discusses the problems of green marketing when associated with false or misleading ads. He says there is a gap between scientific and consumer truth in marketing. According to Davis, consumer truth can be defined as the reasonable interpretation a typical person assigns to a product claim, and the scientific truth can be defined as the literal truth strictly according to facts. He says consumers using products they believe will improve the environment, but which in fact continue to further environmental deterioration, reduce the quality of living conditions for all individuals and current and future generations, and lead to a general deterioration of social well-being. He then notes two ways which these misleading ads continue to the degradation of the planet. One being, mass of environmental claims might lead the public to believe that specific environmental problems have been adequately addressed and solved. Leaving consumers with a false idea that these issues are solved will stop them from working toward a real solution. Davis gives examples of a stretched scientific truth, such as the hefty trash bags that claim to be biodegradable. The company is able to get by with this because science proves the bags break down. However, they neglect to mention they break down very slowly and sometimes not at all. Davis's main idea is to bring ethics to marketing, allowing a truthful, non-misleading ad to be presented to consumers. Considering the consumer's perspective, determining risk and errors, and norm revision are all ways to do this. Increased specificity and precision about the mentioned product claims and benefits will make ads less deceptive. Davis sees greenwashing as an issue that can be fixed by changing the way marketers advertise. He does not mention anything about increasing regulations or creating stricter punishment. His ideas are great. The only question is, how do you get marketers to comply? The 2010 greenwashing case study conducted by TerraChoice analyzed over 5,000 green products from the United States and Canada. They concluded there has been an increase in green home and family products, and over 95% of greener products commit one or more of the 7 sins of greenwashing. The 7 sins are something consumers should pay attention to and include hidden trade-off, no proof, vagueness, irrelevance, lesser of two evils, fibbing, and worshiping false labels. When TerraChoice says they believe companies improve with more practice in selling green products and increase certifications on their products, they make it seem like companies want to become greener and certified. But in some cases, companies learn with time only how to deceive the consumer into thinking that they are greener, not actually improving the product. Miriam A. Cherry of the University of California at Davis wrote a law review that discusses the legal infrastructure and the pervasiveness of greenwashing. She said, there is an incentive to promise consumers eco-friendly products, but then deliver goods and services cheaply, regardless of environmental impact. This shows some companies only care about the economic benefit rather than having good morals or protecting the environment in which they live. Being green can be expensive, but lying about it is cheap. Miriam discusses the idea of the current uncertain regulatory structure, which invites marketers to greenwash with little fear of penalty. But there are legal possibilities for policing or enforcing consumer responsibility claims, which would in turn cut down incentives for firms to engage in greenwashing. Stricter laws and enforcing legal ramifications would stop the majority of greenwashing. There are now strict legal definitions for recyclable, biodegradable, and green after false representation claims were made. When companies bend truths to gain consumer awareness and make consumers think they are bettering the environment when they are actually contributing to the degradation of the planet is wrong, and each company should be held liable. Jennifer Weeks, in her Buying Green article, as a consumer interest in green product rises, regulators and environmentalists are taking a critical look at definitions and marketplace practices. Strong standards are needed, observers say, to prevent a new wave of greenwashing and help consumers avoid wasting money. This is exactly what needs to be done. We need to set strong standards by increasing penalties and enforcing the Federal Trade Commission regulations. If companies are not held liable for their deceptive advertising, they will not stop. She also says, even if green marketing delivers on its pledges, many environmentalists say that sustainability is not a matter of buying green, but of buying less. This is something environmentally conscious consumers should always keep in mind. Greenwashing is still a major issue, but with increased regulations and a push toward ethical marketing, these misleading ads can be stopped. Adding specificity to an advertisement can make the difference between a multi-million-dollar lawsuit and presenting the truth to customers. Consumers should hold companies accountable by taking their false claims to court against broken FTC regulations. With the help of the consumer and the marketer, we can diminish greenwashing. However, the profitable incentives outweigh the environmental benefit to many companies, so harsher punishments must be put in place to truly deter greenwashing.